This afternoon in the MOBIL Super League, Brisbane Downey host the 93 champions Adelaide Garville in a vital round 2 clash. There are 2 McDonalds in the Brisbane lineup, but there'll be no mistaking them. Patricia at 190 centimetres, Melissa at 168. Amanda Grassick and Tracy Bruce are both former AIS members. Skipper Maria Smith has a dozen years behind her playing for Queensland. Marnie James is an agile ex-Victorian, and Kylie Prideaux should know the rules. She's 1 year off completing her law degree. Patricia McDonald is known throughout the netball world as cricket. Her height makes it a logical focal point for the Brisbane attack. The Jamaican played well in a losing side last week to shoot 33 from 40, 83%. Garville was stung by their first up loss last week to Contacts, but should have plenty of faith in this lineup. Jenny Bourlaise has recovered from last week's ankle injury, so will start at shooter. Sheridan Abbott, Danielle Grant and Josie Pearce make a fast, cohesive mid-court with a frenetic work rate, while Robin Gill is a sometimes underrated partner in defence for Aussie skipper Michelle Filkey. 23-year-old Natalie Avellino comes to Garville via the Institute of Sport in New South Wales. She's one of the most gifted shooters in the game, and despite a rough recent run with injuries and operations, continues to press for Australian selection. Welcome to Chandler in Brisbane. The teams in the Super League only get to play 7 round robin matches, and so can only afford to drop 1 or 2 games without hurting their chances of making the semis. The pressure is already on these 2 teams. And Sergeant, Garville have to find a way to close down cricket.
That's right, and much of the responsibility will lie with their skipper Michelle Filkey, but it has to happen well before the ball reaches Michelle. To be effective against Brisbane, they'll need to put a lot of defensive work in the mid-court and to pressure the feed, and that's the answer to giving Michelle a chance to get up to the balls and restrict the options of Patricia McDonald. But it's a tough ask, though.
Ready for the first quarter then between Brisbane Downey and Garville from Adelaide. Danny Grant takes the first centre pass for Garville. Brisbane in the jacaranda, they call that colour. That is a close approximation of purple, isn't it?
You've been practising.
Really?
Pretty purple to me.
A game that both teams, as we mentioned in our opening remarks, need to win. You start a losing sequence in a short competition like this one, you're out of contention quite smartly. Marnie James with it for Brisbane. Patricia McDonald, and Filkey goes to the ground. Amanda Grassick. And the home team puts the first one on the board.
Probably should be mentioned that although the focus is on Patricia McDonald, Amanda Grassick is a delightful mover on court and very accurate as a shooter, so she shouldn't be underestimated, and all the focus go to McDonald.
Credit really to Brisbane that they got as close as they did last week. It can't be easy fitting someone like Patricia McDonald into your lineup. She's not the style of shooter that would be easy to adjust to if you've not played with her before.
No, Australians are more used to 2 mobile shooters sharing the moves, sharing the leads, and of course you have to alter in particular the style of your goal attack to accommodate McDonald.
Bourlaise answering for Garville. No trouble here with her ankle, Anne.
Sheridan Abbott with the ball, puts it up to a nice flick pass from Avellino onto Bourlaise, holding position under the post.
Cricket McDonald has slotted one in at the other end, 3-1 to Brisbane, and match off to a brisk start. 4 goals in the first minute and a half. Grant, Bourlaise had a brief word with Michelle Filkey before the match, and she thought that Jenny Bourlaise may not be asked to go the full distance, so we'll keep an eye on her. It was a nasty ankle injury she suffered last week, forced her off in the 3rd quarter against Contacts. Well, it's bounced out kindly for Garville. Avellino. And a contact against Jenny Bourlaise, so possession going across to Brisbane.
Downey. Thank you.
Prideaux with a restart. Good crowd in here at Chandler. Oh, that's a bad pass, though. And Bourlaise leads it out again to Grant. Avellino, given too much room.
Yeah, really sitting back off Avellino. Kylie Prideaux sitting back waiting. Avellino is going to eat it up if that's going to be the pattern of play.
Well, we thought Natalie played well last week, and she's still getting back to peak fitness after having an appendectomy, only a month ago.
Yes, first training weekend for the Australian squad. As we've said, she was recovering from dental surgery at the end of last year, and that was her big start. She was lean and mean, ready to go back in hospital. So yeah, she has some ground to make fitness-wise, but her skills are delightful. That's a good ball then from Grassick to McDonald, who held space and didn't come off the hole. That's been a problem sometimes. You find that she holds space, but then she slides off it at the last minute. So if they can give her the circle, it's going to be a tough battle for Filkey to stop her seeing the ball.
Grant. Well, gave it straight to Marnie James after Avellino hit the deck. That certainly cut down her options by 50%. McDonald up high, uses the 190 centimetres to good advantage. The shot's not there, but the rebound is. A bit higher, she wants it.
Watch Filkey here. She has a thought for going out on the ball that was taken by Foran, but then decides, no, better come back and mark McDonald, but just too high in the air. Rebound snatch comes from McDonald, finishes it off now.
An obstruction against Robin Gill. Brisbane centre Melissa McDonald to Patricia. Oh, good hands from Big Cricket.
Well, no one really expecting her to pass off, so the deception paid dividends.
Breaking goal defense. Contact defense.
She can't bank on her just standing there and accepting the high balls, because she obviously has some other skills, more versatile than some give her credit for. Borlase.
Borlase opening well with 4 from 5. So despite the ankle injury, which can really play havoc with your shot if the balance, I mean, the shot starts from a nice balanced position with the feet. If you're not strong on both, it can upset the equilibrium, but a good start from her.
Filkey to Gill. Good pressure from Brisbane, but now Garville escape. Avellino.
Contact, keep up, half the shot. Obstruction.
Prideaux transgresses. 5 minutes gone, a good even start to this match. Pat Micken on the right, the coach, and Judy Uren, her manager.
Obstruction, pass the shot.
Brisbane, of course, with a great start last week against Ku-ring-gai, but floundering as the game went on. They had a great lead established of some 10 goals and lost it by about the third quarter. Was still leading, though, with only a couple of minutes to go, and then saw it slant. So it's all there for them. They've just got to be consistent in fighting, and that's the sort of delivery I'd question. I can't understand with the talent of McDonald, Bruce, Grassick, it can't be worked down to the circle and then placed up to a one-on-one situation with McDonald.
Filkey feeds it out to Pearce now. Robin Gill.
Grassick working hard through the middle in defence, but that's a slap on the hand. It's a contact, and Gill struggling a bit with the contest. Liz White, coach of Brisbane, consulting with the manager, looking fairly relaxed at the moment, and why not? Good start from Brisbane.
Contact, penalty pass.
Avellino working with Grant. Avellino still top of the circle. Kylie Prideaux, good height there in defence for Brisbane. Marnie James too. So they should be a good match for Avellino and Borlase. Good contests at either end.
3-second call on Brisbane. Lead came from James, but too late.
Garville edge in front, 8-6. Not quite halfway through the first quarter. Both teams, as apparently they were last week, well, certainly we saw Garville firsthand, guilty of too many turnovers. And isn't seeing that in the first quarter.
Yes, that match was a very strong and rough match, and I guess the skill level dropped as a result of the contest on court. Filkey going out for that outside delivery, and of course leaving McDonald exposed, and she quite likes it close to the post.
She'll almost never miss from that kind of range.
Look here for the circle, and we'll see Filkey out there, but a bit late. She really was in no man's land.
It's with Borlase, mid-range, no problem. Grasic to Bruce. So used to calling her Tracy Foran. Tracy Bruce these days.
Nice move from Amanda Grasic along the base. Steadies for the shot.
Pat Micken making notes. Sister of Mark Micken, who played for the Brisbane Bears up here, and now back in Adelaide.
Advantage contact with defence.
Beautifully taken ball A's.
Ball A's right on target, and another long bomb from her.
Tracy Bruce.
Centre, penalty Downey.
Melissa McDonald, penalty against Grant. Grasic from long range.
She's in great form in goals, playing a strong supporting role to McDonald, but her accuracy, 5 straight, no misses in this first quarter.
Avellino, good long ball. Well, maybe a fully fit ball A's may have caught that, but it was pretty ambitious.
Well, twice we've seen Avellino put ball A's either on stretch or on a speed takeoff, and she's been reluctant to really explode at the ball. Again, she was just trying to hold her ground there, so we have to assume that right ankle not as good as it could be.
Yes, it's one thing for the injured player to play within her own limitations. It's difficult to ask the other players to be mindful of them if they are carrying an injury.
Centre, penalty Downey.
Grant penalised again. Melissa McDonald takes it. Grasic from even longer range than the last one.
Beautiful
And just
shot,
as good.
such a balanced shot from Amanda Grasic. That's a 6. Balanced technique here from Grasic.
She's got the beautiful high trajectory as she has on that pass. It's well measured for McDonald, and here comes the reply from Brisbane Downey. And they've drawn level after being down by 3 90 seconds ago.
And Steve, you have to sympathise with Michelle Filkey. She's such an athletic player. She's bogged down in the circle, just spending her time jumping up at those high balls. It must be a very frustrating way to play your netball. Saw 2 fingers raised then by Jenny Borlase, indicating a switch in shooting leads and telling Avellino that they'll change the arrangement now between the 2 shooters and go on formula number 2.
Michelle Filkey with the ball. She gives away 10 centimetres to Patricia McDonald. It's around 3 or 4 inches,
Nice speed down court then from Garville, but nearly caught without options. They were so fast putting it through the middle.
Avellino passes to herself.
She'll pass and drive because there was a 2-on-1 on Borlase.
Pass the shot.
Garville can take that lead back out to 3 again. Under 4 minutes left first quarter.
Contact, pass the shot.
Against Marnie James, and Avellino...
Milking the penalty?
Well, she was backing herself, was Avellino. Held onto the ball and continued to run with it.
Can look really silly if the whistle doesn't go.
Danny Grant was looking for one. Contact from Melissa McDonald. Meanwhile, Patricia McDonald finishes off. Play the whistle.
That was good work, McDonald to McDonald. The taller one of the 2 really held her ground again, and I think that gives the feeders a good indication of where the free space is. It's when you start shuffling, you lose sight of that space.
Goalkeeper, pass the shot.
Umpires rigorous in clearing the defenders right out of the way on any contact, reducing some of the contests we've seen in other opening matches in the Super League.
Holding penalty that time against Prideaux. Brisbane restart. Tracy Bruce. Nearly a held ball there. McDonald.
Well, hands letting Patricia McDonald down then. She should have pulled that one in. It was delightful use of space from Melissa McDonald, the Brisbane centre. She really found the area on the edge of the circle well, and she deserved to have that pass pulled in.
Gill. Grant. Abbott. Avellino. They're moving the ball about nicely now, Garville. Abbott to Borlase.
That's sweeter play from Garville. It's been a little static once it's got down to the circle in previous approach plays, but that moved nicely for them.
Building a lead now, Garville. 4, possibly 5 if they convert here. Avellino Good balance.
Great feed from Grant. Really found that low space at the back of the defender. And I think Jenny Borlase is reveling in sitting back as shooter. She's put up 14 from 16, so quite a tidy sum in the first period. And that's Avellino's third.
Borlase and Avellino happy in either role, and with obviously Borlase carrying a little bit of an ankle injury, utilising that versatility. Grasic.
Again, great work from Melissa McDonald. She's having a fine game. A foreign now Bruce. McDonald swings it across to McDonald, who finds the space well, holds it up till she can see the shooters, and a good move from Grasic, the drive to the post.
And Borlase has popped another in for Garville. So there you see, the difference 5. Touch over a minute to go, first quarter. Tracy Bruce. Good ball, McDonald, but she feeds it out of the circle again. Now draws the contact from Filkey.
Well, it's the unforced errors that's just letting Brisbane down at the moment. I think 2 that I can recall drop balls from McDonald over the base. That miss, they're ones that really are sitters for them. And it's a couple of those that opens the gap to 5.
Donald had back position, just reaches over the top of Michelle Filkey for the rebound. There's not much you can do about that. Even though Michelle has greater aerial ability, it's not 10 centimetres worth.
Don't tell her that.
Avellino. Melissa McDonald's restart. Grasic. Immediate long ball that Filkey read well, but it came back to Melissa.
Grasic has been at fault on a couple of occasions, I think, of forcing it in too early to McDonald. Both times it's dropped short, and it would do better to be worked to the circle and then placed.
A little fortuitously did that one make its way down court so quickly for Garville, off a couple of hands, and it got in just before quarter time. So that's a useful lead that Garville have established after the first stanza, and they lead Brisbane 20 goals to 14. Second quarter underway. Again, it's Garville who gets us going. And Jenny Borlase has gone down immediately. We'll look at the stats in a second. I think she's going to be all right. But Borlase, having shot 16 from 18 in the first quarter, they'd hardly want to lose her, Anne.
No, well, the ankle mightn't be feeling crash hot, but the shooting is in great form. You'll notice that Garville have had significantly more possession with 24 attempts as opposed to Brisbane's 18, but Borlase is in incredible form, 16 from 18, 88%. Avellino doing well with 4 from 6, but fewer opportunities. Brisbane too, very sound shooting, and identical stats for both McDonald and Grasic, 7 from 9 at 77%.
Abbott, Avellino.
Well, they're really changing the direction and the approach to the circle well, Garville. It's got Brisbane's defence switching heads a lot, unable to stop that nice fluent Garville play.
In a matter of 5 or 7 seconds there, they made Brisbane look ragged. The crispness and accuracy of their passing. Well contested, Danny Grant.
Did well. She had a head up at the last minute, siding the play well. She's a very aggressive player and doesn't ever seem to run out of energy.
They're a very fit midcourt that Garville put on. Trudeau hits the deck, up quickly. Avellino. It's a nifty return ball from Sheridan Abbott. And that lead is 8, possibly 9.
Borlase really using the width of a body in a nice wide stance to hold space. Abbott with a great pass to Borlase, puts the hold on, nice stretch, and then regains a balance. Oh, nice move, Natalie Avellino, and great timing, the delivery from Grant to Avellino under the post. Abbott with the ball. Grant holds it up, and the timing is superb on the delivery to Avellino.
Fumble from McDonald at the other end as giving it to Garville. Reader's 9 again. Possibly 10 here.
Defending out of court, goal defence, shot and pass.
Marnie James just had a left foot over the line. Defending out of court is the call you might have heard from Janelle Derrington. All A's cross to Grant. Good little knock back into the goal third from Robin Gill.
Well, Prideaux read the fake, but just couldn't get herself there quickly enough. It's the work off the first couple of strides that are letting them down.
Garville seemed to have withstood this early second quarter challenge from Brisbane and are answering now with interest.
Penalty pass, Garville.
Cricket McDonald draws the whistle, not that thrilled with the call. Filkey, long ball to Grant. Oh, they're down to the circle in 3 passes. The lead, 3.5 minutes left in the quarter.
Filkey takes the penalty, and in 3 passes, Avellino holds up the third, but finds Borlase as close as you like to the post.
Maria Smith chases and gives off to Melissa McDonald. Grassick. Lead back to 11, 3 minutes left, second quarter. Grassick, Melissa McDonald. It's just not the fluency in the build-up from Brisbane that Garville enjoy. Nevertheless, a couple of good goals. Any goal is good when you're a dozen down.
Good work from Tracy Four and Bruce. My husband will be happy.
Well, I just looked up his move. He is here somewhere, Robert. Yeah. So, a number of the swimmers are here, actually. The national swimming titles on next door. Here at Chandler. McDonald, Grassick, and Patricia. Oh, that was a wobbly shot. So often she gets her own rebound. Grant to Avellino. So quick, Garville. There really is a noticeable difference in the pace of the catch and pass, eh?
Yes, I think Brisbane at the moment are beaten on pace, particularly around the goal circle and the goal third. That's where you really see the speed build for Garville.
Filkey flew out to take the intercept that set them on their way to the goal once more. Avellino, can she finish? You bet.
Josie Pearce on to Grant. Abbott holds it up, allows Avellino to drop into the back space, ever so tidy.
And one more, 11 the difference. Touch over a minute left until half-time. Bruce to Grassick.
Tracy Aliso, Brisbane defender, warming up over behind their bench, so perhaps a defensive change coming after half-time for Brisbane.
Change between Bruce and McDonald was only a positional one, not a sub, so they still have their 3 subs available to them, to Brisbane, as does Garville. I'm sure Pat Mickin's pleased the way Jenny Borlase has lasted the first half of the game. The injured right ankle standing up quite well. The lead is 12. It was 6 at quarter time. So,
oh, good hassling from Maria Smith, but she didn't quite have a chance to clear the 3-foot distance. It was knocked down in the tussle.
Melissa McDonald, Bruce.
Strong contest from Josie Pearce and Danny Grant, really holding the ball up, making it hard for Brisbane to get good access to the circle.
Now McDonald, a lucky rebound, that a lot of their shots being forced to take from well out. Garville keep up this pace of 20 goals a quarter, well, I suggest Brisbane won't score 80. Bruce.
Downey.
Less than half a minute left. Time enough for McDonald. It's a miss. Filkey to Grant. Grant to Abbott.
Avellino sandwich.
Yes, Prideaux and Marnie James both there. But it's Garville's ball. Oh, well done, Avellino to Borlase. It's a long last minute, this one. Now the timekeeper's up. James down. Oh, Avellino was quick enough. Oh, by a second, she got the last one away. And that was a very impressive last 2 or 3 minutes from Garville. They've established a big lead now. And at half-time, Garville 43, Brisbane 28. Brisbane with a lot to do. Get us underway third quarter, and they've already turned it over. Filkey got a hand on it, and away they come. And Brisbane just really not getting the possession their opponents enjoy, Anne.
No, the possession dreadfully down for Brisbane, and the stats slightly down. 11 from 15 for Patricia McDonald, 73%. Amanda Grasick quietly in the second quarter with 3 from 4 at 75%. Jenny Borlase, though, for Garville, really continuing on her winning way, both the volume and the accuracy, with 87%, 14 shots from 16, and Avellino coming into it on her own in that quarter to 9 from 11. So fine shooting performance, particularly from the Garville side.
Brisbane have dragged their captain, Maria Smith, which can't be too good for morale. Tracy Liso on at wing defence. See if that helps stem the flow of the Garville moves up court.
Time, please. Time on the whistle.
Borlase. Tipped down by Marnie James, but still it won't fall for Brisbane. They're playing without luck.
Going.
They more than doubled their lead from quarter time, did Garville. They led by 6. 20 to 14 at quarter time, then it was by 15, 43 to 28. So Brisbane needs some kind of a comeback here. Grasick. McDonald. Gill watches it over the back, and Michelle Filkey fetches. Michelle featuring in a video that is out about netball these days, and netball following the lead of other sports, I suppose, producing its own videos, something that you've had a bit to do with, Anne?
Yeah, we're pleased. I think we've really lacked showing our history to our players, and there's parts of that, and of course interviews with the stars, Michelle and others, and a fair bit of action in ABC stores.
Yes, you can pick up a video on ABC shops. Grant to Gill. Avellino. Borlase. Just watching Natalie play, she never looks hurried. She's got the hands that players like Sue Kenny enjoy, and good reflexes. And just doesn't look hurried, and it makes few mistakes.
I guess, you know, that's a sign of champion players. They look like they dictate terms on court, but certainly the hands are wonderful, very skillful player.
It's Borlase, though, who shoots this time for Garville. And gets the claws of a teammate, Avellino. And now the lead is 20.
It was a nice drive. It was regardless of who was in the space.
Prideaux out to Bruce. Grasic.
The problem becomes when you overlook your mid-court on the drive down court and you pick up, say, your goal attack at Grasic, there's nobody there available to drive on, no link then to the circle, so Brisbane left with a few holes there down court.
He read that early, came out, made the intercept, and she's making quite a few of those now. Adelina and Borlase in each other's way. Just after we'd sung the praises of Natalie, there's a little mix-up between
Penalty pass down.
Natalie and Borlase. Liso with it. Melissa McDonald. And Gill. Well, mistakes aplenty now from Brisbane. Pearce. Garville last year, as we mentioned, started a little slowly, losing their first match, but gee, they look a better side than even last week, and when they lost narrowly to one of the top sides.
I think the most impressive thing about Garville is they perform as a unit. There's not an abundance of stars, but a really nice network between the players on court.
Tracy Bruce, centre pass for Brisbane. It's a tough one for Melissa McDonald to haul in. She did. For Grasic. Robin Gill out of play.
Amanda Grasic with another example of a very fluent shot.
Pass the shot.
Fingertip control from Patricia McDonald.
McDonald and Filkey out juggling each other, eyes to the ceiling. They finish it off with a pass to Grasic, who will complete the passage for Brisbane.
Avellino and Abbott working the top of the circle, and under 5 minutes left in the quarter. 19 the lead. Melissa McDonald. Filkey again reading it too easily.
It was the wrong choice by Bruce. Fine to have eyes to that pass, but it should always have been McDonald that she ended up approaching.
There was nearly a major collision between McDonald and Filkey.
Obstruction centre, penalty Garville. Obstruction goal defence, pass the shot. Yep.
James out of play. Avellino pops in number 55. Michelle Filkey, a minor eye injury. I'm sure she'll be okay in a second. Grant to Abbott to Borlase and Avellino. It's that easy. Precision passing from Garville. 21 the lead. This will disappoint what's quite a good home crowd for Brisbane. I'm sure they were encouraged by a close result last week against Ku-ring-gai in Sydney. And with Garville having lost their first up match, they would have considered themselves a chance here, especially with Cricket McDonald, the focal point up front, but in other areas of the court, and they've been outplayed, really.
That's right. I guess, you know, they are playing defending title holders in Garville, and it's still early days for them to build a combination, but a very disappointing run for them tonight. As you said, it's not just been the connection to McDonald, it's been disappointing in other areas down court.
Bruce. Early down court, Josie Pearce giving that one away. Bruce. McDonald, who's played professional basketball in the States for a number of years. He's almost finished a university degree in phys ed.
And she's king of the kids.
Yeah.
I think she's actually done some nannying work in the States, but everywhere I go, there's about 20 kids around her talking to her, and she loves them.
Abbott. Here's some Grant. Avelina.
Contact off.
Over the back comes Arnie James, illegally, says the ump. No. Bruce. Lisa. Tricia McDonald takes it quickly before Michelle Filkey can come back and take up position to try and put her off a shot.
Filkey thought about that one, and she probably, had she committed herself to it, would have taken it cleanly, but she decided to stay out of it and content with the throw-in. A lot of space through the middle for Garville. Very little contest from Brisbane through that centre third. Open pathway to the shooting circle. We saw Borlase hesitate then, considering the offload pass to Avelino, and it affected a shot. And I guess from the umpiring decision, Kylie Prideaux affected the shot as well. Jenny Borlase with 9 straight. She missed the opening goal of the quarter, but she's been on her merry way since then. Patricia McDonald too with the 9 from 10, so fine performance from both shooters.
Vicky Wilson, all right, is in her hometown, but turning out for contacts in this Super League competition. Sarah Engove. There's been a bit of controversy about that, but more about that another time as we focus on the last minute of this third quarter, which compared to the first two has been quite low scoring. Well, Garville finishing with a flourish as they did at the end of the second. Lead out to 19 again.
Another delightful goal from Jenny Borlase, her 11th consecutive shot.
Garville have scored 16 goals in this quarter. They scored 20 in the first and 23 in the second. And that's the 13th for the quarter for Brisbane. And that's all they'll get as three-quarter time is blown. But Garville protecting what should be a match-winning lead at three-quarter time. 59-41, they lead Brisbane. Garville, restart. Kelso takes it, so we can tell you that there are some changes as we look at those third quarter stats, Anne.
Well, Jenny Borlase hasn't been hauled for poor performance. Have a look at the stats. 11 from 12, 91%. She's been in great form all night in goals. Nat Avelino, 5 from 7, also good work at 71%. Patricia Cricket McDonald right up there with a 90% for the third quarter. And Amanda Grassick, 4 from 5, 80%. So the two shooters from both sides really leading the way on the stats board.
Kelso with it, and as we suggested during the third quarter when we saw her warming up, she's come on to replace Jenny Borlase for Garville, and Avelino has gone back to goal shooter. So Kelso comes on as goal attack, and there have been plenty of changes in the other 7 as well. Anne-Marie Hill is the new centre for Brisbane. So Tracy Bruce is off. As well, Kayleen Carmody comes on for Amanda Grassick as goal attack.
Brisbane really struggling to find the mid-court tonight. They've really shuffled through all their options. And as we said earlier, they'd be disappointed in tonight's performance.
Centre key position on the court, and Brisbane have churned through 3 of them tonight. Avelino.
That opened far too easily to Avelino. Defenders have really struggled to get a fix on the Garville shooters. They're both, well, I guess all 3, move exceptionally well. And as we keep saying, the options are there because their repertoire of skills is extensive.
big international season coming up for netball, and must be very encouraging for Joyce Brown through the first 2 seasons of the Super League to see the players in her Australian squad, like Avellino and Borlase and Filkey, all of them have played exceptionally well.
Yeah, very early in the season for them, and it was interesting. She said after the first training camp she thought it was encouraging that they could notice there was a few rusty passages coming out of the off-season. She said she was glad to see they did need a coach at times. I'm sure many players would give one leg to be as rusty as these girls are at the start of the season.
Kelso, Avellino, who's one of those players in the expanded squad. It's close to 20, isn't it? How many in that bigger Australian squad?
Well, it fluctuates around the 16 mark. Some players are invitees to train on, but the squad now down to 14.
McDonald from Jamaica, who were here last year. Trinidad and Tobago coming to Australia in July. Before that, 3 tests against New Zealand in New Zealand. See them on ABC Sports. Hill, Marnie James. McDonald to Hill. Pressure everywhere from Garville.
It's not the same understanding in Brisbane's attacking play.
Well, Avellino completely fooled Prideaux with her move there. Opened it right up, and applause from Natalie for the pass that found her at just the right moment. Good understanding in the Garville 7.
Lovely shot, well-balanced shot by Avellino. She's a fine technician. And as we expected, she's now assuming the shooting responsibilities with Borlase having left the court at the end of the 3rd quarter. She's put up 6 from 7 and looking very comfortable.
Gill trying to protect Filkey, who was on her way to the floor. Might have slowed her down a touch. It was a nice idea. Abbott.
Good touch from Lisa. She's done well since she's come on for Brisbane. She's aggressive, talented player.
Some time
Still a
against
youngster.
Tudor Sport, didn't she?
Yes.
A scrum happening on the floor there. Kelso. Kelso just misunderstood the call from the umpire. She had to pass, not shoot. Was that?
Well, Prideaux misunderstood too because she was out of play. I couldn't hear the call. I'm not sure whether she thought maybe Kelso stepped out of the circle on taking the penalty.
Melissa McDonald to Patricia.
Nice play here from Brisbane. McDonald working the sideline well. On to Carmody, who anchors, holds it up, looks around, finds McDonald on the drive to the circle. Good feeding position, and McDonald to McDonald.
And she's just popped in another one. But 20 is the lead, as you see. And 9.5 minutes to go.
The speed on the ball from the Garville players is quite sharp. It's really out of the hands quickly. The timing very good in their attack line.
So it looks as if around 10 minutes from now, Garville will be 1-1 after 2 matches. Last year, I mentioned they lost their first match, then didn't lose another. They had a draw with Sutherland later in the season.
Keep it both out.
The first up loss and went through unbeaten. Patricia McDonald with that left knee heavily supported, and we think it's giving her a little trouble late in the match.
Going Garville.
Hope she can see the match out. Here's to Kelso to Avellino, and really a clean intercept from Prideaux.
side.
Avellino knowing on release that that was going to be a spinner and quickly in to contest the rebound, but out of court.
James. Hill. To McDonald to Lisa.
Contact in defence, penalty pass, Downey.
Josie Pearce with a too subtle challenge. Oh, but Gill with a good intercept.
It was good work. She came from the offside, but she had enough speed to come through with it.
Kelso. We did get some time in the Super League last year, so although a youngster, not fazed by this standard. James with Prado. Hill to Liso. And in Carmody. Now it's easy for somebody like Robin Gill to perhaps be shaded in the eyes of critics by her partner, Michelle Filkey, but Gill just seems to have all the skills in defence and makes a mighty contribution. The number of turnovers and half intercepts that she creates.
Certainly a very strong competitor and a very talented athlete. And you're quite right. Probably any other team she'd be coming out the star, but just sits there underneath Michelle's shoulder.
McDonald.
Stronger take than from McDonald. She's been a little soft on some of the takes. Hill with the centre pass for Brisbane. McDonald puts it high to Carmody into the corner, and she puts the loopy one up for McDonald, close to the post. She'll make sure.
Meanwhile, toss up between Kelso and Marnie James. Marnie must have broken. Well, it's a high-scoring game for Garville. Helps the percentages.
Contact shooter, penalty Garville.
Attacked against Patricia McDonald as she stares daggers across the court at Carolyn Gilman.
Carolyn determined to set her out of position. We have that now.
Yes. Kelso.
Kelso with 4 from 6. Abbott caught pushing through. Double defence corner by Brisbane.
Oh, that was a ball into traffic. I thought that'll be lucky if it's caught by a teammate. It was caught by nobody. Melissa McDonald to Patricia, but Filkey there. Badly
placed pass. It was never on. If anything, it was being fed for Filkey. Really got to read where the open space is and place it to the free space. And it was, of course, behind McDonald on the other side.
Four minutes to go. Can only be one result here. A good one for Garville. Confidence booster. Next weekend, Adelaide teams got a visit from the Sydney teams.
I'm in training for that weekend.
that'll be big.
I was exhausted after one tough one last Saturday, so some serious training going on. The other thing to note about that weekend is that the Australian players have selections on the Sunday after the matches, after 4 tough matches are played. So they'll know where every sinew and every muscle is by Monday morning.
Kayleen Carmody for Brisbane. And they're 48s. They should get to 50 with over 3 minutes left. trouble is, Garville are over 70. Gilman sets the pass right in the corner there. As Garville press towards a win here. What's ahead for Brisbane? And they obviously played better than this last week when they led Karingai for much of the match, but they've been outplayed except for the first few minutes here.
I think they'll be very disappointed in this performance today, and I think there's a lot more in there from them. They've got some young players, talented players. I think defensively they need to really work on contesting from a front position. They've played far too much from the back space. Through the midcourt, I think it's establishing a combination. I think at the beginning, they've really got to persevere with McDonald and with Bruce. They're both talented, loads of speed. The main thing remains is being able to get that penetration down court to the circle and find good positioning on McDonald. But I still don't think they're feeding well. And I guess it remains a huge question mark why you can't find a target of that stature. But they're just going to have to persevere. And I think, you know, it's there for them. I think we'll see far better things from them.
I hope they're not too discouraged by the performance, because I'm sure they've also caught Garville in pretty good form. They've been allowed to perhaps get into stride more than last week against Contacts, Garville, but nevertheless, Brisbane have come up against a fine team here. I mean, it's the same team that won the Super League last year. Sure, Borlays went off at three-quarter time, but this Garville 7 is a formidable lineup.
That's quite right, and that's an important point. Garville would not want to be facing 2 losses from 2 outings, so they would have been very determined to clean this up, and they've done that, but still a long way to go in the competition.
Filkey, Pearce, Molino, Kelso.
Nice reverse pivot from Kelso. Bit of a
obstruction against Marty James. Well,
doesn't really want to give that one back.
Well, Derrington, the umpire, couldn't see the look that we saw from Marty James. It's a wry grin. Marnie is fairer player, as you would see in top-class netball. She really wasn't disputing the umpire's call, just...
It's more a look of frustration that sort of sums up the game for Brisbane. Football.
Also again.
And that's just not on. The feet have got to move and get in position first. You can't sit from the back and expect to come around with the arm and stay on it. .25, the margin for Garville. Emphatic win. Not over yet, although the timekeeper I see now is out of a chair. Avelino, that won't count. That won't count, so 77-48 it remains. A fine win for Garville. Brisbane, as we say, we hope are not too discouraged by that, because Garville were at their best tonight. And room for improvement, I'm sure, for Brisbane, who will chalk up some wins before the Super League season is over, but not tonight. Garville, 77-48 over Brisbane Downey. I'm sure Michelle Filkey is very pleased to get a win under the belt. She's talking with Anne Sargent. Thanks, Steve. Well, Michelle, a disappointing outcome for your last match, but better things today.
Yes, definitely, Anne. We've had three losses on the trot, and it was very good to come out today and have a strong win against Brisbane.
You were those slow starters in last year's competition.
Yeah, we've decided to turn that around a little this year. What we've done is started off very badly in the second quarter, and I thought today we came out very strong. We had some really good shots on the board early and really looked just very strong all over the court.
Brisbane, of course, faced the loss last week too. Were you expecting them to come out a little harder?
And I think also in front of a home crowd, they tend to have that home crowd support, and they really boosted them. Although I thought just through our pressure constantly down the court, we were able to force the ball a little bit shorter to me.
Well, you had good assistance in Robin Gill and Josie Pearce, but what is it like to face someone the stature of Patricia McDonald?
Anyone who's 10 centimetres taller than you, you've got to just jump. But it's always a challenge to play Patricia, particularly here in Australia, and it's great practice for us once we play them with the Australian team.
Well, it was a fine result. Congratulations.
Thanks, Annie.
Steve, a far happier Garville after this match.
Thanks, Anne. Yes, they're looking back on track, the Super League champions from '93. A match for you next Thursday night on ABC Sport will feature Adelaide Contacts, pretty confident after their first up win over Garville last week, and the young and highly talented Australian Institute of Sport. As well, we'll have highlights of the reverse matches from here, Contacts against Brisbane and Garville against the Institute of Sport. For the moment, though, that's all from Chandler in Brisbane. I hope you can join us on Thursday night. Until then, Steve Rebillard for ABC Sport. Goodbye for now.